everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Cupid. I'm super excited to have you guys here with me today, and I'm super excited to be back. I was unfortunately so sick over Halloween weekend, and just thank you so much to the people who did reach out with advice and just encouraging words. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate the support. It was just so sudden. I was coughing, my throat was hurting, it was just miserable. Otherwise, I definitely would have pushed through to give you guys that reading. But nonetheless, like I said, I'm super happy to be back, and I'm so appreciative of everyone who reached out to me, okay? Before we get into this reading, I do also want to announce that we are starting the November tarot giveaway. So if you are interested in receiving a free tarot reading from me, my tarot readings are question based. All right, so you ask a question, you get an answer. I will be announcing up to 2 winners on November 11th. If you would like to participate in this giveaway, all you have to do is tell me your pet's name in the comments, okay? Tell me your pet's name in the comments. For example, my dog's name is Mojo. So I would put Mojo, and I might put some cute little emojis, and then I would comment. And so that's really all you have to do. And on 11/11, I will be announcing 2 winners by one commenting on your comment. I will literally say, hey, you're a winner, yada yada yada. Okay, that's gonna happen on the 11th. All right, so I hope that makes sense. If you are wanting to participate in the giveaway, then just comment your pet's name. All right, so anyway, today's reading is going to be all about your money and your finances. We are going to ask Spirit, we're going to tap in, and we're going to see, what do you need to know about your money and your finances, right? So I anticipate this to be a pretty straightforward reading. And then at the end, I am going to get a message from the jar for overall advice, all right? So anyway, as always, I have 3 groups. After this intro, you'll be able to see the groups, pause, meditate on which group you belong to, and all timestamps for each group will be in the description box below. Catch you at your reading. Group 1. So when it comes to your money and your finances, I'm getting that you are being warned to slow down, right? Slow down a bit when it comes to either spending or just investing, whether it's your time, or energy, money. There's a need for you to slow down here. As soon as I was done shuffling your cards, and I had got a notification from Twitter, and the tweet said, what did it say? Hold on. The tweet said, we really don't need to be building anything else. We really don't need to be building anything else, okay? When I see this 10 of Swords here, and we have judgment, okay? I'm getting that I heard you bit off more than you can chew, right? With this 10 of Swords, I'm getting overworked, right? I'm getting under earning, right? I'm getting a burnout kind of situation. And to me, it's not in the same way with the 10 of Wands, because the 10 of Wands is the card I usually get this burnout energy. But with this 10 of Swords, it's almost like not really kind of seeing the death of something, not really seeing that something is played out, right? It's done, it's dead. It's not that you're currently overworking a situation. It's more like the situation has been worked. It has been worked. And for whatever reason here, you were not able to reach some type of conclusion with this work, this effort that you've been putting in. But with the teeth, right? With these swords, here we have teeth. And so I'm getting more so this is about commitments, right? Making too many commitments, saying you're going to do so many different things, possibly to different people, right? And in the end, not really being able to do these things, not really being able to deliver. And it's because it's like over promising, okay? And when I see this judgment, I feel like you are being viewed from the outside, in whatever regards to this financial situation, whatever situation it is, from the outside looking in, you are being viewed as somebody who cannot handle it, right? Or who is having trouble handling the load or loads that you have taken on, okay? It's almost like somebody realizing, like, you're being told, like, you need help, like, you need some help. And you also need to make some calls, right? I'm hearing you need to make some calls. Right here, we have this Five of Swords. And when we got Five of Swords here, what did I hear? Used against you. I heard used against you. Anything you say can and will be used against you. So, you could owe money, right? With this Ten of Swords, you could be in a lot of debt, right? Because this is about, what's funny to me is that I don't see any coins. And this is a reading about money and finances, okay? I don't see any coins, okay? And I feel like it's because your debts, like, you way under earn the amount you owe. And this could be owing to institutions or owing to individuals. This could be very literal, as in you owe money. But this could also be you owe favors to people, or you owe people who did favors for you. You need to pay them back in some way. Something could be held against you. I feel like I said, you bit off more you could chew. I'm just getting the sense of an overcommitment, having overcommitted to something that you may not be able to maintain or sustain, okay? And with this Five of Swords, I feel like this is creating conflict, right? So even if it hasn't created any visible conflict yet, there's a conflict brewing behind the scenes or underneath the surface in regards to these commitments that you are unable to keep, right? Now let's flip this, because maybe you're not the one who can't keep your commitments, but maybe there's someone else who you've been relying on in a financial matter, or in a financial way, and they are unreliable. They cannot keep their commitments, right? Either way, what I'm seeing here is that with this Eight of Cups, you need to be, because we are going to get overall advice, but what's happening is what I'm seeing with your finances, you need to know that it's time to budget, is what I'm getting. With the Six of Pentacles here, right underneath this Eight of Cups, you need to know that it's time to really evaluate how much you have and where is it going. How much are you acquiring and where is it going? How much are you receiving and getting and where is it going? How are you allocating these funds? How are you prioritizing, different aspects of your life, different needs that you have? This could be very hard for some of us, especially when we go from maybe having only a couple bills, like our phone bill and car note, but now you have rent or a mortgage. You got to pay your utilities. Now maybe you pay your own health insurance. Now your dog got insurance. And like, being an adult, it's like one day you realize, like, dang, I got like 10, 20 bills. Not everybody has it, but it can rack up the amount of financial obligations that you can have at one time. It can surprise you as you go deeper and deeper into adulthood, because it's like, dang. And you could think you got it all figured out, and then one day it's like, oh no, you need pet insurance. because you got, a little dog, and you don't want to pay out of pocket, or now you got to move from a house to an apartment, so now you need renter's insurance just to live in the apartment. And it'll sneak up on you all the little bills that you can accumulate. Never mind your entertainment, your streaming, but I'm getting off topic, right? So whether it's that you owe someone money, or somebody owes you money, or you just have a lot of responsibilities, like I said, with this Ten of Swords, there's this energy here of having bit off more than you can chew, and really needing to take a moment to stop and hone in on all of the parts and pieces of this mess, right? With the Six of Pentacles. What do you have, and where does it need to go? There's a Wheel of Fortune right underneath this, and I love that, because I feel like this is Spirit giving you a bit of something to be optimistic about, right? Like, Spirit is not saying that everything's falling apart. No. Spirit is just saying that there's a lot of moving pieces here and a lot of commitments you've made. And if you don't take the time to really strategize how you're going to handle all these commitments, you can easily end up drowning. And for some of you, you feel like you're already drowning, right? With this Ten of Swords, you already feel like the chicken with his head cut off. You already feel like shit has hit the fan. Spirit is saying shit don't have to really hit the fan. And if things have hit the fan, things can still go your way. Things can still get better. It's just going to require you sitting down and reevaluating, right? Reevaluating, right? Here we have questions, reveal, motives, and intentions. And then right underneath this, learn more. Okay, so Spirit is saying here that perhaps not enough questions are being asked, right? Learn more. I feel like Spirit is kind of saying, like, you need to investigate more. You need to be more willing to investigate, right? About where your money is going, or where these other people's money are going, or when they say they're going to pay you back. Like, just in general, I'm getting like being more invested, being more hands-on in this process, so that you don't feel like things are sneaking up on you, right? Or coming out of left field, coming out of nowhere, right? So you may be feeling overwhelmed at times. You be feeling like things coming out of here, coming out of there. This is due tomorrow. That is due next week. Shit just feels like it's falling. Like, feels like pigs are falling out the sky, right? It's like you can't catch a break because things keep catching you off guard. You need to be willing to ask more questions. One thing about money and just finances and just taking care of your bills and everything that I've learned as I've gotten older, and is always reinforced, is that they're not always telling you everything. They're not always telling you all your options. They're not always telling you what you can or cannot do. For example, right? And this is just a little lore about me. I used to have a car through Kia Finance, right? I don't anymore. But when I had my car through Kia Finance, there were times where I was going through a tough cycles, and I needed to make decisions on, I can pay this or I can't pay that. I had to dig deep. One month I was looking at all my stuff, and the one thing that wasn't immediate was my car note. That was the one thing that was like not an immediately, like, I have to pay this. And so I was like, what can I do? What can I do? And see, my mom always is still in me that sometimes you can just ask. Call and ask. I'm going through this. What are my options? So I didn't call, but I did go, and I just dug through the website. I looked through all the FAQs. I dug and dug and dug until I found, and somebody might need to hear this, I found that because I was in good standing, and because I had paid my note on time every month for however long, that I was eligible to basically have my car note deferred for the month, meaning I don't get penalized at all for not paying for that month. That was an option that was available to me, but I only knew about it because I took the time to figure it out, find it out, submit the request, right? But let's say I didn't take the time to do that. Let's say I was a sad sack and I was just like, oh my God, I'm just going to have to get the late fee. I'm just going to have to not pay my car note, and I'm not going to tell nobody nothing because I just assume there's no options. There's nothing. And I just decided not to pay it. And do you know what would have happened? I would have had a late fee that was literally the same amount as the car note. All because I didn't take the time to dig a little deeper, right? And take ownership. I took ownership because, like I said, these institutions are not going to tell you everything off the rip. They're not going to give you the whole playbook at the sign up. They're not going to let you know every single little bit of your options. That doesn't benefit them. So Spirit is kind of saying, like, you need to kind of grab hold of the reins on this, and you need to be the one knowing the ins and outs, the parts and the pieces of your financial situation and the institutions that you're a part of, right? Go and look for answers, right? You want to know, figure it out, right? Like, and I know sometimes it's intimidating. You don't always know where to start. I don't even know, because every website is different. But sometimes you just don't know where to start. But Spirit is saying you need to start. You need to start really evaluating, really budgeting, really breaking things down, prioritizing, categorizing, right? If you're not using a spreadsheet, Spirit is saying use spreadsheet, use Quicken, use something. You need to be budgeting. Put everything in a chart. Make sure you know all your due dates, right? I'm not here to I feel like Spirit kind of fussing at you. That's not me. That's not what I want to do. But it's a lot of, it can be intimidating or seem like a lot of work to set up. But once you have it, it can make it so much easier for you to always keep track of everything, right? Last card here, we have hot. And we have excuse. So I feel like Spirit is telling you two things here. One, with this hot, I feel like the kitchen is hot. Like it's time to go, right? The time is now, right? It's one of those things. It's like, you know, the pressure is on, right? It's not like, oh, there will be pressure, or things are gonna start getting. No, things are starting now. Things are hot right now. Okay, so if you in the kitchen and you can't handle the kitchen, you need to make another move, because the kitchen is hot right now, right? That's what I'm getting. And underneath that here, excuse. And so, or I see excuse, and then there's watch actually here. And so Spirit wants you to be mindful of the excuses you make to not take responsibility, right? To not take ownership of your financial situation, right? And I'm seeing here also that Spirit is kind of letting you know that, like, know that your excuses are not going to survive in this next period, right? Excuses are not going to flourish. They're going to be exposed, right? And I just feel like with the watch, I'm getting like a spectacle of like having your downfalls or having your mistakes in a sense broadcasted. So for some of you, you could be on social media. For others of you, it could just be more so about your community. Like, you're not going to be able to hide behind these excuses in this next chapter, because there's nowhere to hide. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm getting. Like, it's nowhere to hide. All right. So I'm going to get one card from the jar, group one. Your overall advice. So Spirit, what is group one's overall advice in regards to their finances and their money? What is group one's overall advice in money and finance? Ooh. All right, we got one card or one message. What's group one's overall advice? Interesting. Love doesn't kiss ass. Love doesn't kiss ass. Oh, you know, I didn't mention it, but underneath learn more, we have love is a choice. So I feel like for some of you, you could be involved with somebody who you care about, right? You care about this person. But it seems like there's a codependency here. And somebody's desires or somebody's lifestyle is not exactly conducive to the financial goals that you have, right? So you may have some struggles in regards to like implementing boundaries with this person, and these lack of boundaries affect how money is spent. So this could be somebody you live with, right? Love doesn't kiss ass. Maybe somebody is not helping pull their weight. They're not being as attentive to finances as they should be, right? And I love this because we're coming back around to this questions, reveal motives of intentions. I feel like when it comes to evaluating, you have to be able to ask questions, right? You're going to have to be able to investigate. So the same way I was saying, you need to go and be looking through these websites and make sure you know the conditions of this and that. Same with your partner, right? When you and your partner are talking about finances, or you're checking in to see if they've done certain things, paid certain bills or whatever, don't be afraid to go back behind them and look. I mean, and I hate to say that because it can create dysfunction, but at the end of the day, if y'all are relying on each other to pay bills, that's your team, and y'all can hold each other accountable. You can go and look and see, oh, they didn't pay the bill. Hey, you're supposed to pay that bill yesterday, it's not paid. And if they're like, well, why are you looking? And you're looking because this is y'all's responsibility. You're not here to kiss their behind or be, passive. That's basically what I'm getting. Like, don't let love or relationships make you passive when it comes to the financial aspect, because that is one of the main reasons relationships end up falling apart, because both people are not on the same page financially. So I'm getting here is like, yes, you can love this person, but you don't have to be indebted to them. You don't have to, give into every desire or every whim that they have. You don't have to do any of that, right? You can, like I said, take ownership of your financial situation regardless. All right. So anyway, that's all I have for you today, Group 1. I really hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Feel free to leave a comment, and if you would like to be notified whenever I post new videos, then please subscribe and ring that notification bell. Bye, Group 1. All right, Group 2. Your reading is starting off, honestly, a little similar to Group 1. Instead, here we have the Four of Swords, though. And right underneath, we have this Nine of Wands. And so I'm seeing that right now when it comes to money, finances, you feel pretty burnt out. And I'm getting somebody who's just like straight up exhausted. And also when I see this Four of Swords, I'm seeing this is also like a need for rest. It's not even just that you want to rest. It's like, no, you need to rest. So you could find yourself more tired than usual. You could find yourself just getting frustrated or burnt out at like the smallest thing. And I also see with this Nine of Wands, you're isolated, right? So you could either isolate in order to work, or you isolate in order to rest, right? And I see that it's because you are protective of what it is that you're working on with this strength. And then this strength is right above this Seven of Wands. So I see like you're just protective. You're protective of what you're working on or what you're trying to do. But I'm also seeing that you could have somebody in your corner, right? I feel like you have someone, or you have some people, you might have a community. You're not alone here, but I see you kind of like isolating from others in order to build what it is that you're building. We also have this Three of Pentacles here, and the Three of Pentacles is right above this Empress, right? This Empress, she is pregnant, so maybe you're pregnant, and that's why you're more tired than usual, right? If this is more of a literal reading. Others of you, it's more so, it's just these ideas that you have, these plans that you have are fragile. And it really requires a delicate balance between making something happen while also like nurturing yourself, okay? And so having this Empress underneath this Three of Pentacles, it's almost like I'm seeing people around you they feel like you're prioritizing the work. They feel like you prioritize work or you're overworking yourself, right? I'm seeing that people want to help you though, right? We have use your words. So there are people, you have community that is wanting you to voice your needs, right? Voice your desires or whatever it is, like any frustrations, if you're in pain, they want you to let them know. And I'm getting that a lot here, even with the strength. It's like you're protective of your goals and your dreams, but you have people who are protective of you. You have people who are willing to go to bat for you, who are willing to defend what it is that you're building. You know, I'm seeing that you're really not alone. And that is what Spirit is like highlighting here, that you have help, right? You could be trying to do as much as you can by yourself. Even if the pregnancy, like you're not pregnant, it's more so maybe you're in school or maybe you have multiple jobs. There's a sacrifice that you're kind of taking on. There is a hardship that you're like putting your body through in order to make money, in order to keep a business afloat, or in order to make sure you and your kids can eat, whatever this Three of Pentacles is, right? And it's like, it's just a Three of Pentacles. So it's the beginning of something, or it's not even nothing crazy. You just want to make sure that your kids have food, or that you can go to work, that you have gas to put in the car, right? Or, you know, that you can keep your business afloat, right? It's not that you're working, you're not trying to have a whole bunch right now, but you're trying to do it all on your own. There are people who are just as protective of you as you are of yourself and your dreams, you know. And here we have the hot seat. So I feel like you're like the center of attention. Spirit is letting you know that, I feel like Spirit is pointing out your position here, because it's like Spirit is reminding you that this is your time, right? Remember when I said with the Four of Swords, it's not that just that you want to rest, it's that you have to rest. You need to rest, right? It's time to rest. So Spirit is kind of like reminding you that you're in a position right now that requires you to accept help, right? Accept assistance, okay? So this could be about assistance as well for some of you. Maybe some of you need to ask for assistance, whether it's to a parent or your partner or friends, relying on that community. Spirit, is there anything else here? I don't think so. With the Nine of Wands, I do feel like, you know, it's a really defensive energy. So maybe you just have a hard time voicing your needs because of some pain or trauma that you had in the past. But with this love is a choice here, I want you to know that, or Spirit wants you to know that these people in your life who want to help you, who are offering help, they do it because they love you. And they love you not because they have to, but because they chose you. You were specifically chosen by them for them to love. And so, yes, it can be hard to accept help because we can be so worried. You know, we can be so worried about, you know, what it really means, or if somebody really cares about us, you know. But oftentimes we forget that, you know, help comes in so many different forms. And if you believe that you are deserving of that help, or you've prayed for it, try not to let all that negativity keep you from just accepting blessings, you know. Having someone there for you as a support system when you are going through a tough time. Not everybody has that, you know. But anyway, I want to go and get a card or a message from the message jar. Just overall advice for you. All right. Can I get some overall advice for group 2, Spirit? Overall advice for group 2. Okay, we have a message. What's overall advice? Add a little water. Ooh, I love this. I love it. Your advice is to add a little water. So if you know anything about the elements, love, water represents more like love, intuition, fluidity, right? Movement, right? There needs to be more movement here. I feel like spirit is kind of telling you you're a little rigid, or you're a little stiff, right? You're a little stiff. You need to put some little oils in the joints, right? Like, you need to make room for others to help you, right? Adding water, like if you ever are making like a baked thing like pancakes or anything, right? Anything. Sometimes you need to just add a little water just to get that and not get it nice and smooth, right? The less fluid it is, the harder it is to mix, the harder it is to stir, right? The harder it is to get all these ingredients to work together. So Spirit is asking you to put a little love in the mix, put a little softness in the mix, put a little bit of understanding and compassion and acceptance into this mix, and things are going to be a lot smoother for you. But if you keep resisting, it's going to be rough. All right? Like I said, you're stiff. Add a little water. And see, you have two commands here. Add a little water and use your words, right? So it's like you not using your words is in direct connection with your stiffness, right? You're so stiff, you're so tight, you're so closed off because you don't think that you should speak up, or you don't believe that speaking up is going to be worth it for you. But like I said, Spirit wants you to know it's going to be worth it. Letting people know what you need, being willing to be vocal about your needs, are what's going to help you get your needs met, right? A big part of manifestation people don't really take in consideration is using your words, right? You want to manifest, make your needs known, be decisive, make it known, right? Sometimes, let me tell you, manifestation is so simple. I was at work one day and I remember thinking about this so clearly, of wanting to be more in a mindset of just letting my needs be known. Even if it's not a big deal. You never know. Just make it known. And so one of my coworkers, I didn't even know this, but I was just so, oh my God, I was in such a mood for something sweet. And typically I would have kept something like this to myself. But I'm talking to my other coworkers and I'm just like, man, I would love a sweet treat right now. I would love some cake. And she was like, really? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, well, I have some crumble cake in the fridge if you want it. I have a whole cake at home. You can have the crumble cake. And I was like, what? And literally, when I tell you I love crumble cake, I had not had crumble cake in so long. And so to me, it was like that. And I have so many other stories like that. But that was like a case in point. Let your needs be known. You never know, right? You don't have to say, man, I wish somebody would give me crumble cake. No. But if you know you're a little hungry, just be like, man, I'm a little hungry. Or if you know it's just sometimes, and this is a small example, right? You don't always got to broadcast everything. But I'm just saying that closed mouths don't get fed, right? And think of it this way as well. When you speak, that sound has its own vibrational properties, right? It literally operates on its own frequencies, right? So when you speak a word and put it out there, you are literally like adding that information into the ether, okay? So I'm going to leave it there. I don't want to get too meta with you guys right now. But anyway, if you enjoyed this reading and you would like, if you enjoyed this reading and or it resonated, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Feel free to leave a comment. And if you would like to be notified whenever I post new videos, then please subscribe and ring that notification bell. Bye, Group 2. Pile 3. I'm seeing here that your reading is actually pretty optimistic. It starts off with this 5 of Cups, and underneath this is a 4 of Cups. And so you may have felt like you made a bad decision in the past, a disappointing decision. With this Four of Cups underneath here, maybe you're at a crossroads now, right? Maybe you have a similar choice to make now. And you're kind of like in this place reflecting on this past disappointment. And I feel like this disappointment weighs on you enough for spirit to kind of come in and save you, because this is what I'm getting here with this Hierophant. I heard saved, right? And I feel like this is about you coming into a new cycle where you actually receive not just necessarily the things you want, but you just receive better outcomes, right? So in the past, you got these negative outcomes or these disappointment, these losses, right? You could have lost money. You could have maybe made some bad bets, whether literally or metaphorically, but it affected your money, right? But the Two of Cups, this could be dates, right? Maybe you feel like you've gone on dates, spent the money or the time or the effort, and things didn't work out, right? There's a Seven of Swords underneath here. So relationships where you're pretty much stabbed in the back, the wool is pulled over your eyes, right, is what I'm getting. But spirit is kind of letting you know that something is going to come in that is not going to be like these past relationships. And I feel like, and maybe you've already, but because I don't ever want anyone to think I'm talking about a specific person, right, in their life when it comes to like a love coming in or the right love coming in or anything like that. But I feel like I said, you're kind of at this crossroads now, wanting to make a decision now, or needing to make a decision. And you're just thinking about this past decision. But Spirit is kind of saying that, oh, you're going to get something good this time, right? You're going to get something good this time. Claim the stage. I feel like you were in the past. I feel like maybe you prioritized the other person or the other party. Now Spirit is telling you that you are going to be prioritized, right? You are going to be the main focus here. And so maybe in this connection or this time around, you're not going to have to put up all this money or put up all these resources in order to date or be with this person. Maybe this time you guys are going to be more equally contributing, or they're going to be the one paying for you, right? Over here we have love, and underneath here we had return. And so I feel like this could be somebody that either you're returning to or they're returning to you. Somebody who wants to kind of, and I'm getting like, remember I said save too, and then that return. It's like somebody wants to make up for what you did lose, right? Somebody wants to make up for maybe this person, they were the one who couldn't keep certain promises or keep certain things up. Now they want to come in and make up for that. They want to put you at the forefront, so that you're not really worrying about it. They want to be the one to worry about it, okay? Interesting. I definitely feel there's an energy here of somebody, maybe this person betrayed you. Maybe this is the person that betrayed you, right? Interesting. I want to go ahead and get to your overall advice. I know this reading is not very long, but they aren't really meant to be that long. So I hope you get what you need from it. But let's get some overall advice here, Spirit. What is Group 3's overall advice? I'm not feeling that great anymore, but I'm going to finish this reading. What is your real name? What is your real name? What is your real name? Ooh, you need to be honest. What is your real name? Group 3, you have a complicated reading because there is a level of hiding here, right? And I feel like it's you. You're the one hiding, Group 3. And that's why Spirit is asking you to be real, right? To be this center, right? This claim the stage. It's almost like maybe you find yourself fading into the background or just giving in to what other people want. Maybe you're the type of person that when you get into a relationship, you know, like, you kind of like assimilate to your partner. And so this is kind of like this love. I'm getting like self-love, maybe returning that love to who you are, right? You gave this love to someone else or other people, hoping for a good outcome, but in the end you dealt with a lot of loss. And let me tell you, dealing with hardships in relationships can most certainly affect your money, can affect your sense of stability. Maybe you switched a job or lost a job, right? And so it's like, because you've prioritized these other people and your connections, it affected your overall stability. Every disappointment, every betrayal has put you 2 steps back, right? Or more. With this love here, Spirit is kind of reminding you, Spirit is wanting you to know that you need to love yourself and you need to put yourself first. And you need to be remembering who you are and what it is that you are out here fighting for. Don't just get caught up in a relationship and then throw away your goals and postpone your dreams, right? Even if you're dating, even whether you're single, dating, married, whatever, you need to be making sure that you are always accounting for your goals and your dreams, remembering who you are. Because if you allow yourself to get lost in these relationships, you won't be able to reach the stability that you need, right? Like, people don't realize that, yes, you can even get married and have kids with people, but you never know what will happen. Don't just let yourself get lost in the sauce of a love connection to where you drop out of school, or you stop making music, or you just give up on your dreams, is what I'm saying. So I feel like that's what you